Hey everybody, welcome back to Bald and Bearded Garage. Hope you're having a great day. I am having an okay day. If you don't see the mess in the back, this is the T5 transmission I pulled out in the last video for the T5 revival. If you haven't seen that, I'm going to put that in the link in the description. Plus I'll put the short to quickly hear the sound that I was hearing even when I was in neutral. And also it had splashing oil from the transmission and from the tail shaft all over underneath the car, splashed up against multiple parts. It's nasty under there. I got a pressure washer underneath that and get rid of all that junk. But like I said, I'll put in the description for y'all as links. And we're going to go over some things I found with this T5. Now, if you don't know about the Tremec T5, it was originally borg-warner's. borg-warner, great transmission company, honestly. To me, they're legendary, but they came out with the T5 5-speed in '82 for the AMC Jeep and the GM S10 first. Then around '83, '84, I believe, it went into the Mustangs. Now, these are legendary transmissions. They're simple transmissions. Any of you can do what I'm going to show you today. And through this whole little 4-part, hopefully, series of rebuilding a T5, like I said, the T5 Revival series is what we're calling it. So, but they have lots of parts, upgrades, known issues that you can fix with some little upgrade parts and help for better shifting, longevity, improvement on torque capacity. These around the regular T5 I think ended up to be 330 pounds of torque capacity. But honestly they go up to like 650 horses or by a couple of brands. Some are not making them anymore, but because these are old. I mean, like I said, 1982. So we've got over 30 years. But this transmission is still used in so many things for racing today. And for classic vehicles, and even conversions into 65 Mustangs. They do tons of things. They go into a lot of vehicles. So first thing that I found was the issue. Once I took out the transmission and put it on here after the video the other week, this is my neutral safety switch. This is the connector supposed to be hooked up to it. That's a problem. These don't usually go bad. I mean, it's just a simple, as you see here, a little ball goes down. That closes the contact when you put your clutch in for the neutral safety switch so you can start the car. You can bypass it, it's not a big deal, but this is original since I've owned it for 10 years, and it's probably 10 years older than that, so it did its job. I mean, what lasts this long anymore, to be honest with me? This is plastic, hardwired into it. I mean, the wire is just frayed and broke off, so not a big deal. Cheap parts in place. So if you watch the other video like I said, I joked around saying it sounded like two gargoyles fighting each other as metal on metal. And then when we took it out, we found out this. Now this is your input shaft bearing retainer. This is your input shaft. That is 4th gear. Okay. When this is hooked up in the connected in the transmission, this slides right over like this. This bolts to it, the transmission housing. This goes into your pilot bearing, and this is your 10 spline that goes into your clutch. Yeah, so this did that. This is supposed to be the upgraded heavy-duty one that, I mean, years ago, many places sell this one. I'm never using this again. This has caused me issues, and this is part of the problem, I believe, of my issues that just radiated down through the transmission and started putting more stress on parts, and it gave. This is aluminum, and this is steel. That's why this steel cylinder is supposed to be the upgrade. It's a 2-piece. It's junk. That is going to be thrown away because I got a new one that's all steel, and that cylinder, guess it could be 1 piece, but if worst case, that cylinder, this guy right here, is welded to it. And I'll show that in the next episode with all the upgrades we're going to be doing to the transmission. And hopefully I'm going to get Jake involved with this so he can help me out a little bit. And also 2 brains kind of help, 2 sets of eyes, you know. Makes life a lot easier, especially handling the camera around. So the other issue that I found was this. So this is on the top. It has a rod go through. As you can see, there's a hole. It is kind of like your fork selector. It helps lever. It's a levering thing. These are levering forks that go into your, let's see, shift forks. Okay, for 1, 2, then 3 and 4 shift forks, and then 5th. Let's see, would it be reverse hub? But in the end, it's these go. You'll have 2 of these in your top part right here. This is the top of the transmission. Goes in these little slots with a couple other pieces. All right, we're not going to worry about those little pieces. Everything else was fine. But this can be a known issue where I was also before I had that grinding noise, I was having shifting issues in the 3rd and 4th. So I'm going to show you. This little guy goes in. Let's see, focus. Okay, and you know it turns like this and that. Okay, to kind of shifts like this. You know, right? So tolerance needs to happen, right? So if you watch this, it's possibly a little bit, but it's not bad. You see, there's not much spacing through that. That was number 1 and 2. I'm throwing it down because I'm really irritated by this simple thing. And then that's 3 and 4. Like I said, I was having harder shifting issues into 3 and 4. So you want to always check that when you take apart your transmission. If you're having shifting issues, it could be just this. So I got to order 2. I'm going to order 2 new ones. They call them heavy duty. We'll see if they are. I'm not sure, but right there is why I was having shifting issues in 3rd and 4th transmission now. The other issue I found was number 1 and 2 fork, shift fork. As you can see, that is a shift pad. Okay, look, see there's that side. They just clip in. Look at one of them. I wasn't having issues shifting now, okay? But it was going to start happening if anything. Not sure why 1st and 2nd really wasn't an issue, but this thing held in, but that pad's bad. It happens. Again, I don't know I know this thing had at least 150,000 miles on it, and they were rough years. I taught many people how to drive stick shift in them, so it happens. I even taught my daughter. The other part is, this is another bearing retainer. This is for the countershaft. So this is your gears, okay? Tail shaft in, that's what the drive shaft hooks up to. 28 spline, I believe that is for stock. This is the counter gear. This is inside the transmission, okay, housing, and it goes on the end like this and holds, there's a bearing here, okay, and it holds it in. And there's a tolerance of 2 thousandths, okay? These they're shimmed, but as you can see, it's just steel, okay? Kind of thin, but it is still steel. And when you have the bearing and the race on, and then you put the shim in to get the tolerance, like I said, plus or minus 2 thousandths of what you read, it's going to be held in tight by where the 4 holes are, these little pieces right here. Well, mainly side to side is the worst. This is stretched out. That's a problem. It is actually what can happen a lot, and I think that was starting to become my problem. And when these get really stretched out, that gets the tolerance off, so then the counter shaft moves a lot more. Well, that's not good for the gears. It'll tear itself up. You'll have a bad time. You'll destroy gears, you'll chip them, and luckily I'm not seeing that with any of these. But the other issue I found is with the counter shaft. So let me see if I can find it. Yeah, there you are. See that one? that's not supposed to be sticking out. It broke off. Again, mileage over 150,000, I know for sure, with this car, with this transmission. This has been in 2 of my Mustangs and has been very loyal and reliable, and it finally kicked the bucket. So between that taper bearing roller breaking and this, I was going to have a lot of issues, and I think that's where a lot of my grinding was, or the noise of it. It sounded like it was fighting itself, and it happens. I'm not really mad at it. I'm kind of happy that I get to rebuild it. I've always wanted to rebuild one of these, so not a big issue. So the other issue is what I found, and I don't know if this is from me because I've never taken it apart, is right here at the front where the input, this is where the input shaft goes on to create 4th gear. This is 3rd gear, 2nd, 1st. If you look closely, see that black right there where it overheated up. It got hot, and obviously, and I have shavings, if you can hear that. That's supposed to be nice and smooth and everything, and I can fix that more than likely for longevity later down the road. But what happens is, that happened, and this is the, like I said, input shaft, right? And this is 4th gear. See, there's roller bearings in that. Now, I've already taken it apart, and I wanted to put these back in there, so I only packed them with some grease just to hold them in. But when that happens, this guy was going like this, possibly, which was probably because of this falling apart. See how it all correlates together? I think this started happening, and this was able to move more, and then put more stress on the gear and cluster gear, and then broke that bearing, stretched out the retainer for the cluster retainer, and it was going downhill. Which I was having to fight shifting probably, and then stretched out this. So that is what happened with this T5. Again, with today's cars, I mean, let's just be honest. The new Mustangs with their MT82, I think it's called, those are junk. I don't know why. I know Shelby's 500, GT500, and I believe the 350s also got the TR660s. I think they got another transmission also that was not an MT82. Ford, just go back to Tremec. We didn't have the issues. If it's a little bit more money, I don't think we would care for quality. I love the T5. I like the T56 also, but the T5 is special to me. Just like I said, it's simple. You can do it. I can do it. Like, if I can do it, there's a dumb ape right here. You can do it. So that's really it. I just wanted to do a quick video on what I found to be issues with it. We'll go over a little bit more in the next episode when we go over all the upgrades that I'll be replacing with, why I'm replacing them. And like I said, I hope I can get Jake with me to help me out on that, because it'll be great to have him here. He gets to learn a little bit. He's never done this either. We've always just went to the junkyard and got new automatic transmissions. I don't want to rebuild automatic. But it's going to be a lot of fun, and I can't wait to get back in my transmission. So please support us by hitting the like button and subscribing. And if you have any questions, comments, please put them down below in this video or any other videos, really. We will do our best to answer them as quick as possible. We do have full-time jobs. This is a part-time thing, and hopefully one day it becomes permanent. It becomes a full-time gig, and you get, and I get to live the dream of restoring cars, showing you all how to fix things. Things of over 20 years Jake and I have learned working together on cars. But that's it. I hope you have a great evening, and I'll talk to you next time.